Good morning, everyone. My name is Binod Silwal. Welcome to today's webinar for Missed Hired Visa Check integration. Um, Feel free to drop your questions in the chat box if you have any. We will compile all your questions at the end of the meeting and then get back to you either by generic tickets or separate emails. Uh, so Today's webinar is about missed hired visa check integration. So in this session, I will talk about how to do the visa check through Mist platform seamlessly. So this feature will avoid your manual work going to the department's website separately and doing the visa checks there. I'm your integration consultant for Mist Group. So if you have any questions later on, you can easily reach out to us. You can come to support@messgroup.com.au or you can give us a call. So we're happy to answer all your questions. So let's get started. In today's webinar, I'll cover the overview of the integration. I'll talk briefly about how to do the configuration. It's pretty much simple configuration for this integration. How you can manage the access and permission for the visa check feature. So we offer this integration in various tiers. So I'll talk about that tier as well. So visa check filters available in the platform, what filters you can use to get the desired list of records to do the visa check. Some of the icons relevant to this integration. I'll also talk about the visa check process. I'll go in detail in this section. I'll also talk about the log and report available for this visa check feature. So as I said, if you have any questions, please feel free to drop a message. Please include your name and your college name as well, so that we can recognize who you are, and then we can reach out to you easily. First thing first, the integration overview. So this integration is fairly simple, so nothing complicated actions required. So the setup part is very easy. So all you need is the email account for your organization. So when you have an email account for your organization, you can simply use the credentials that you use to log in to the email account platform. So you just need to configure those username and password in the system. You need to accept the department terms and conditions, and that's done. So once you configure that, then the setup is done. Then you're good to go, and you're good to use the visa check feature. So this feature uses fast verification method. So whenever you send a visa check request, either the response is instant, or it might take up to a few seconds, 10 to 20 seconds, depending upon the load in the API. So this again is dependent on the queue for the visa checks in the department Vivo API. So depending on that queue, we will get the response either quickly or at the same time. So basically the integration works based on the fast verification method. The integration is already available in your platforms. So if you check your platform now as well, you can see the visa check feature is already there. So it's by default enabled for all the platform, all the clients, regardless of you want to use it or regardless of you have purchased or not. So if you check under admin and configuration section, you will see the section to configure the visa check credentials. And under the offers page, you will see the page called visa check. So you can go to that section and then start using the integration whenever you want. So it's already available there. No need to activate it separately on your platform, unlike other integrations. So this feature works based on few tiers. So we have a few options available for the tier. So you can choose to use any of the tier, and then you can do the visa check. So I'll talk about the tiers in the later slides. The visa check can be done in bulk, or you can do the individual visa checks. So everything is consolidated under one page. So you can select one record or up to 20 records at a time and do the visa checks. So the page gives you flexibility to do bulk or individual visa checks. It can be done for both offers and students. So you can do the visa check from individual offer section as well, which will ultimately redirect you to the visa check page. And you can also do it for the students. So just to make sure that the existing students also might need to do a visa check to offer them a new course or to check them if they are still eligible for the um, studying the courses in your organization or not. So it's available under both offers and students. So first part is about configuration. So as I mentioned before, simply you need to have a provider's email account. So that email account you use to log in to email department's website to do the waiver check as well. So you can simply put the username and password for that email account in the MEST visa configuration section, and you just need to agree to the department terms and conditions. So these terms and conditions are managed by department itself. So basically this means that you consent to use your credentials by the third party to do the waiver check. So once that's the consent, you provide the consent and agree to the terms and conditions. You save the details, and that's done. So configuration is completed. This can be done under admin configuration setup. You'll see a separate section called visa check configuration. So you can set up this details, you can reset or you can update it at any point of time. So this can only be done by the admin user, just to make sure that it's only done by the authorized person. This page is only available for the admin users for your platform. The other important point for doing the visa check through this API is for your email account, you should have the waiver service enabled for your email account. So if you see under your summary, under the email account, you will see what services are enabled or what services are approved for your email account. So it could be a study entitlements, it could be some other checks, but for this visa check feature, you must make sure that you have this waiver check service enabled. If it's not, you can go to the section called request additional services. You can simply request for this service, and then department will review your application and they will provide that service or approve the service for you. It might take up to a couple of business days, but that can be done by department upon your request. In terms of MEST platform, SMN users can do the visa check feature. They can do the configuration at any point of time. But if you want to assign some user roles or a particular user to do the visa check, you can also give the permission for that user. So the permission name is visa check. You can find it under the permission name section. You can assign it to the particular roles or under the particular role as well. If you want to assign it for a few users only, then you can select the users and assign the permission. So it works same as any other permission in the system. So whoever has that permission can only use the visa check feature. Regardless of having permission, anyone may see the visa check feature, but they can't use it. So if they attempt to do the visa check, system will restrict them, saying that you don't have enough permission. So you just need to enable the permission for that user. So as I said again, only the users with the permission assigned will be able to use the visa check feature. So now about the tier information. So system will display under the tier information section, which is under the offers visa check section. It will display your current tier. By default, all the platforms will be under the free tier. So that means you can do up to 10 visa checks per month. And then it will also display the number of visa checks you have done successfully and the day of the next reset. So this visa check will reset every first of every month. So if you do 10 visa checks for the month of October, then on the 1st of November, you will be still able to do 10 more visa checks. So that will reset at the first of the next month. Talking about the tiers, as I mentioned, free tier is available for all the platforms at the moment. If anyone wants to purchase additional visa checks, so we have a standard tier that will allow you to do 50 visa checks per month. If you want to do a premium tier, then it will allow you to do 150 visa checks per month. And if you want to do a custom visa checks count, then we have a custom tier as well. So that can be negotiated and that can be discussed with our team further. So these are the available tiers. As I mentioned, simply you can start using with the free tier at the moment as well. And then once you want to upgrade, you can contact us and then we can take you to the further steps. Regarding the visa check, now you will see a page called visa check under the offers tab. So that page will have a few filters to browse the records. Some of them are campus filter. If you want to do visa checks for a particular students under a particular campus, the visa check filter. This will include not checked, completed, refresh, request sent, and so on. So I'll talk about these statuses in the later slides. We can search by the IDs, and there are further filters based on the stage. If it's the offer stage or if it's the student stage, you can sort by descending and last check and so on. So by default, the system will exclude the resident students from the visa checklist records, because obviously they don't need to have a visa check. So system automatically includes the student that has origin type as resident or the domestic students. There are a few icons that are only applicable for this integration. So the first icon is about showing or hiding the tier information. As I mentioned in my previous slide, you will see this icon where you can hide the tier information or show the tier information at any point of time. If you want to see the details in this grid, then you can simply expand the grid. So that's that icon. So check visa is the icon which you will click to do the visa checks after you select the record and when you're ready to do the visa check. So this calendar icon will give you the history of the visa checks done for each record. So if you want to see what has been done before for that particular record, you can click this icon. There will be an icon called refresh status. So this icon will be available only for a category called request send. I'll talk about that in a later slides as well. So this icon will simply fetch the API response from the API if anything has not been received yet. So this feature comes handy when you do a lot of bulk checks, and then if for some reason you don't get back the API response instantly. So this tick icon, the gray one, means that the visa check has not been done before, or even if it has been done, then the successful visa information was not retrieved yet. So that means, so you will see these icons on the offer profile or the student profile. If you see this, then you will know that either the successful visa check has not been done, or you have not even done any visa checks for that particular record. And once the API gives us back the success response, which means that it returns the visa information successfully, then only changes to green. And then for the commercial purpose, only the green, the records which has the green tick enabled will be only counted towards the chargeable visa checks. So only the one with the green tick will be counted towards this visa check number. So if anything has come successfully back, then only this counter gets increased. Coming back to the icons, the last one is the back button. Obviously, when you go to the visa check page from either offer or student profile, and you want to go back to the same section, you can simply click this one and it will take you back to the original section where you were redirected to the visa check page. So now let's talk about the visa check feature in a bit detail. So under the visa check page, you can select multiple records at a time. As I mentioned before, you can do it individually or select n number of records. At the moment, let's say if you are under a free trial, free tier, then you're allowed to do 10 visa checks at a time. So if you select 11 visa checks record here, then system will prompt a message saying that you're only allowed to do up to 10 visa checks. You can't proceed further. So if you do anything below 10, then you will be able to do the visa check by this check visa icon. Then system will give you a confirmation message saying that you're sure to proceed ahead. If yes, then confirm. So under this page, the confirmation message is a bit important because you would want to review and confirm before sending the visa check, because if API sends back the valid response, then you will be charged for that visa checks. So just to make sure that you only do the visa check for the required records only, you just need to confirm that. So once you confirm, system will give you a message that visa check is sent successfully. You will either receive the response instantly, which will be under completed status, or if the API doesn't give the response at the same time, it would be under request sent status. If there is any error like failure messages, then it will also land under the failure status. So there are three statuses for the visa check status. As you can see, it's not checked at the moment. It could be either not checked, completed, failure, or request sent. So I'll talk about all these statuses and what they mean, and then what if they count towards the visa check number or the billing or not in the next slide. if, as I mentioned before, if the tier information has passed, tier limit has passed, sorry. So in that case, the system will stop you from doing the further visa checks. We are doing a change for this one and allowing users to do visa checks as like pay-as-you-go method, but that will come in the next releases. So I will talk about that at the end of the session. As I mentioned, the visa check responses can be either like completed, failure, request sent. So the completed could mean that the API sent us back the valid response. It could be either let's say the person not found, or the success message. That means the valid visa has been information has been provided back. So you can see all these details in the visa check page itself. Uh, so the request sent status means that API response is not yet not received. For that particular status filter, we have this refresh status icon here. So when you do that, then it will retrieve the visa check information from the API. So once you do that, it will clear all these records on the request sent and move them to either completed or failure, depending upon the response from the API. So the list of statuses, the relevant response codes and description, and if they come towards the visa check counter or not, or in other words, what are the statuses that will be billed. So in that case, completed could mean either Vivo account no access. That means your IMEI account doesn't have Vivo service enabled yet. So in that case, you have to send a request to the department to allow or to give you the permission for that service for your IMEI account. So you need to request from IMEI account itself. The other one is person not found. So let's say the details recorded in the system doesn't match with the Vivo service, and the API can't find the person based on that details. So this integration will check the person based on their date of birth, passport, and the country of issue of passport. These three information are the key information that we pass for the uh, visa check. So either of this information, if it doesn't match, then this error is triggered. So you can either update the record in the system, like their passport number, date of birth, or country of birth. You can update in the system, or you can continue further for the next visa checks. The other one is success. So this means that the visa information has been retrieved successfully. So it could give you, let's say for an example, 500 subclass visa. The student has full authority or full visa conditions for study entitlements and so on. So API gives back the visa details as per the Vivo. So success message is also under completed visa check status. The other one could be failure. So in that case, the Vivo login error is the one of the examples. So this means that the IMEI account username or password is incorrect, or let's say the password for your IMEI account has expired. So in that case, you will receive this error, and then for this error to debug this error, you can update the credentials in the mesh system, and that should work as normal. The other one is request send. I've talked about this already. So if API doesn't give back the response instantly, then it goes under the request send. You can go and do the refresh status at any time, and it will give back the actual response. So out of all these statuses, only the success one is counted towards billing. And just to reserve the visa check counter for the records for which we have not received the API response yet, we just reserve the visa check records counter for request sent as well. And after that, after you do the refresh status, if we get back the success, then it's charged. Then if it goes to any other statuses like account no access, person not found, and so on, then it will not be charged. So this is just a reserve of this is just to reserve the visa check counter, whereas this is the actual chargeable visa count. So in summary, only the successful visa checks are chargeable to you, and you can see these statuses in the reports and log and cross-verify with the number of visa checks you have done as well. Um, Continuing forward, so when the successful visa check is done, as I mentioned before, you can click this calendar icon to see the visa check history. The history will give you who checked the visa, who initiated the visa check, what the response was received. So the information that we get back from the API is the response code, which obviously will mean either success or any other relevant errors, like the one I said, waiver person not found. What the response actually means, what is the visa type, what is the visa name, the visa details, like it will have a description based on the visa category. So for the student visa, it might say that student visa for students completing studies in Australia, the visa grant date and the visa expiry date. So these information are retrieved back from the API and stored under the visa check history page. So you can go at any point of time and see the visa information for these records. The next information is that you can do multiple visa checks for you can do multiple visa checks for any record. So if you did a visa check for a record and it gave you an error, then you can still go back and do the visa check for that same record again. All the activities done for that uh, particular record is stored under its relevant history page. So you can see all the history for that visa check record, including the user who checked and the timestamp as well. So I mentioned before as well. So you will see a tick icon, gray one, under the offer profile page or student profile page. For now, let's only talk about the offer profile page. So this means that the visa check has not been done before for this particular offer, or even if it was done before, the API never gave back the successful visa check, successful visa information. So in that case, it remains gray. So you can simply click this button. It will take you to the visa check page again. It will pre-populate all the information. You can simply do the visa check. So if you decide to go back to the offer page, you can simply click on back button. It will take you to the offer page again. So now let's say if you do the visa check for this record from here, then the API gives back the successful visa response. Then the icon will change green, and then it will give you a message saying that last checked was on a particular date. Click this to see the visa information. It will take you again to the same page and give you the response accordingly. For the details, you can go to the history page and see the details at any point of time. As I mentioned again, it will only turn green when the API gives back the success response. Similar goes for the student profile as well. So you can see that tick button in the student profile as well. Similar story. So if the visa check has not been done before, or even if it was done and it was never a success, then it will stay gray. You can go to click this button, go to the visa check page and do the visa check. Upon the successful visa check, it will turn green. Similarly, you can click this icon and see the visa check history. So let's say your offer is converted to student. In that case, this visa check information gets carried over from offer to student as well. So you don't have to do it separately for that student if not required. So the visa check information, including the history, gets carried over from offer to the student page as well. One more information we maintain is under the student's comlog, the offer comlog or student's diary. So we record the visa check activity under the student comlog. So you can refer to this page at any time. Simply go there and then see the message. It will record the visa check response, who did the visa check, and like few other details as per the visa check API response. Now about the log and report, the main important log that we maintain for this visa check feature is the configuration log, because as it is a compliant information, the IME account details are pretty crucial and sensitive. So we want to make sure we record it properly, who did the configuration and what information was entered. Obviously, the username and password that was entered in the system will be encrypted, and we will record the log or details of who did the configuration, when what was it done, all those details under this particular log. So you can see this log under the nest view log section. The other information is the report. So under the student services, you will have a report called visa check request between 2 dates. So this report is basically a summary of all the visa check activities done between 2 dates. So if you run a report between 2 dates, you will see all the information, including the visa check response, who did the check, for which student, what response was received. If any response is not received, then it will still have the information of who did the check and so on. This is to retrieve the each and every activity for the visa check done between 2 dates. So this report is very important to see the history of the visa check activity in the system. The last piece of information for this webinar is that we are currently working on two additional features. First one is allowing the users to do pay-as-you-go visa check after the monthly limit is reached. So let's say you are on a standard tier and then 50 visa checks has been done for a month. You want to do 5 more. Yeah, the system will allow you to do 5 more, but then later on the finance will bill you for those additional 5 visa checks. So we are working on that, and then it should be available in next release or the release after. So it will be available soon. So we are working on that at the moment. And there will be one more report for your entirely for your finance section. So that is to see only the visa check records where the successful records has been done. That is to ensure that you are charged for the correct visa check numbers only. So regardless of unlike this report, which has all the records for all between 2 days, that report will have the records which only have the successful response code from the system. So that means all the records under that new report are subjected to billing from our side. So this will be important for your finance team as well. So that's pretty much it about the visa check feature that we have for Mist Hired platform. As I mentioned, it's very simple integration. Already available in your platform. You can straight away start using it. And if you have any further questions, you can contact us at support@mistgroup.com.au, or you can ring us anytime. So we're happy to help you. And after we receive your inquiry, we can guide you further for the user guide and demo and so on in detail as well. So yeah, if any other questions, you can drop in the chat box. We'll get back to you soon with an answer. If there's nothing more, then yeah, that's pretty much it for today. Thanks for your time, everyone. Have a good day ahead.